Hello, math fans. This is Dr. Andy Lovelace. This video is going to be a little different, a little more serious, but also something that I think it's time for. I would like to talk about what we do, the UW teaching faculty do in math. And in doing so, I'd like to highlight my wonderful superstar colleagues and the things they do. So I think not very many people know this. I've been doing review sessions, and it came to my attention today that some students were maybe not being so kind to my colleagues because they were using my material, and I would never want anything I'm posting to work against these people. I love these people, they're wonderful. And so I want to support them and hopefully give students and other people watching a perspective of what it is we do, how deeply we care about student success, and how much these colleagues mean to this university and mean to me, and how important they are to you and your success. So hopefully you'll listen a little longer. I could use some help supporting them in the years ahead, and I have a few projects and videos I'm going to talk about in follow-up. So this is the beginning of a little series. But I thought I should share a little bit because I think there's misconceptions. The math department has many wonderful instructors from the tenure track. If you don't know, tenure track means they're on this path. They do research. They get tenure. If they get tenure, they're very secure. They can get paid a lot, possibly. They can get grants. It's this total different thing. Historically, that's what college teaching was. But in the early 2000s, here at UW, they started to hire a lot of teaching faculty, people that were just evaluated on their teaching. We don't do any research. And we can be paid a lot less. But we love teaching. All right. This group has grown. So when I started here, there was only in 2001, Professor Taggart and Conroy were here. And I have them in the corner. I'm going to show some stats and a little bit on the number of students we've taught. In 2005, Professor Nishifer was already here. I was hired. Several years later, Professor Ostroff was hired. Professor Perkins has been here a long time, is kind of passionate about going to seminars, wonderful instructor. Professor Pizzoli and Beckel have been here a long time, but only kind of more recently were officially became part of the teaching faculty. And then we have three wonderful, relatively new colleagues, Professor Su, Professor Nerig, and Professor Camacho. These people are outstanding. If you are in their classes, they deserve your respect, and you should listen to everything they say. Okay? So don't say, oh, they're teaching it different than Dr. Lovelace. I don't want that. They've got a lot to offer. Research. I put research areas here, but truly our research area is student success. That's what we care about. So I was going to say a little bit about what we do, what our jobs are, and I think that might inform students better, and maybe we can all get on the same page for what we're trying to do here, okay? So our job is to teach big classes. For many years, it was 8 classes a year. Then they increased the class size, and now it's 6 classes a year. They're big classes, so it's big management. It's not like, this job has afforded me a nice life. I have 3 kids. There was a couple quarters where I was able to stay home for paternity leave. That was just wonderful. I have a similar schedule to them, not the same. But there are different things. I'm paid less than a high school teacher. But a high school teacher, has to teach 4 preps. They have to teach throughout the day. So it's all a matter of perspective, how you want to think about these things. All right. And I'm one of the highest paid in this group. So many of these people are paid significantly less than like a high school, middle school math teacher. So it's good for students to understand that. Many students coming through our courses are going to go on and do engineering, and in a few years you're going to be making more money than them. So they're doing this for the passion of helping you reach your passions. So what our courses, what work looks like is this. We set things up. There's a lot of setup when you're teaching such big classes. We have the class time sessions. For each class, it's 3 hours a week. There's a lot of prep that goes into that. Some of these people do like videos ahead of time. Um, then they do like set it up to do a flipped classroom. They do activities and polls. All that takes a lot of coordination because then you have students email you that they couldn't make it. Could you give an extension? And we have 480 students a quarter. It's a big management job. Okay. A lot of people say to me, well, you have TAs to help. Well, actually, we manage the TAs. The TAs are wonderful, but we have to give them a plan each week. We have to observe them. We have to coordinate meeting with them. So it's a management job. Okay. We make plans for the week. We have office hours, student management. We write the exams and we grade the exams. Yes, we split up the grading. I try to grade the same amount that my TAs grade. So usually I'm grading, first exam, maybe it's like 4 to 8 hours of grading, and then similar for exam 2, similar for the final. So there's these moments of work there, just so you're aware of what that is. And then the job that has really become really gigantic in recent years is correspondence. Emails from students that are going to miss a test, discussion board. I think I had last quarter 232 discussion board posts throughout the term. So whatever that is, divide by 10. I'm doing about 23 to 24 posts a week, which is great. I love the activity, but it's time. I looked through and I had 44 letters of recommendation I wrote last year, 30 for undergrad, 14 for grad students, 2 for colleagues. But the number one thing that really weighs on me because I care about teaching is students in distress. And we all care about that. It's a thing we deal with a lot, and I think we handle well. Okay, these other people, Professor Beckgill teaches a lot of the honors, accelerated honors. So she works with kind of the high-end students. Professor Bozzoli has been helping us run the TA training, is very passionate about things we can do. Professor Perkins is just so darn interesting. If you could take a class from him, he's going to tell these wonderful stories. He plays the ukulele. He's from Hawaii. He makes things very interesting. I would love to take a class from him. Professor Ostroff is beloved on campus, teaches our pre-calculus. I was just talking to a high school student who was reviewing his tests, one of his tests where every character on the exam was from the board game Clue. He's just fun and entertaining and has done so much. He's made built this, had taught us how to use this online grading system, which gives students more feedback. Professor Nishifer has been here for so long, has done so many active classroom things, learning about polling, trying new things. Professor Conroy now runs our Math Study Center. He had done so much about like planar curves and data. He teaches a course in discrete mathematical modeling that leads to these cool projects. I'm just this old dumb guy. Professor Taggart has been here the longest, has taught, I think, more students and more classes than anyone at UW this century. And just every one of these people has so much passion for student success. And you have to remember that all of them are paid less than, a middle school, high school math teacher. And they teach 1,200 students a year. So I think that students don't realize that. So when you come in and you're hot about the exam and mad at an instructor, I think these people deserve respect. Okay, so if you want a sense of the volume of students we've taught and the experience we have, I think it is unique among people, even at UW and within the state of Washington. So here we go. So I collected this data. This is not perfect data. This is just me going through the time schedule. I was hired. These other people were hired. It's more about the total number of students we've taught. And we feel the weight of these students, these souls, these people we've been trying to help reach their goals. It's something that one person can't handle very well. And all of these people care deeply about this. So if you're in any of these instructors' classes, if it's pie day, bring them some pie. Tell them how much they matter to you, how much their efforts throughout the years have mattered. many of them tell me stories of students that come back years later and say, your class meant so much to me. I've had success. But day to day, we don't hear those stories. We hear students that are upset. They think our exams are unfair. So the other piece of this, we do committee work. We've been on many committees around campus. I was on the Distinguished Teaching Committee. I've been on some of the fewest committees. Professor Tager's been on like every committee on campus. Okay. These people are in distress right now because they're maybe not getting summer funding. There's other things going on. We just don't have collectively that much power, but we love working with students. Other things we do is we run TA training. We coordinate all the courses. That means we set up the homework for everybody, the WebAssign. We create materials. Our lecture notes are used by sort of everyone in the department and shared. Now, other people in the department do stuff. This is not against anyone else. We help other teachers. But the number one thing we deal with is the fallout of our courses. Students come in and they say, it's a weed out course. The first exam happens. Somebody gets a 3.0 and they're in tears in our office. And we deal with that. And I have a project idea for, I really want to connect with more people on campus. I've been searching for funding for this, not for myself, but so that I can employ these people to help me work on it. And so I will have a separate video on that if anyone has ideas. I've started to try to put together grant applications, but a lot of grant applications at UW require your tenure track. And so I'm going to need some assistance if anyone has ideas, because we have a lot of experience. You can see all the students we've taught. And we really want to help students. There are so many people in this group that want to improve our grading policies to help students better, but it's complicated. It's a big university. A lot of departments depend on these courses. We have some that want to make our own homework system so that it would be free for students, but that's a huge project and we need time and support. We have some that want to even just do research. There's research projects. Some people are wanting to work on research projects on proofs. Some of these people wrote textbooks for like Math 300, but it's unclear the pathway for these folks. And I just want you to see. And the job itself has gotten bigger. I went back and looked. 10 years ago, I had 5 students miss exams for the entire academic year. And last year I had 90 students miss the exams. So people contacted me, said they were sick or had an emergency. So coordination has become a lot bigger. So these are the challenges we're facing. And some of the, we're trying to find ways to connect with students, help them with their math deficiencies, help them go where they want to go. But we can only do so much. And one thing students can do is when you're in these classes, tell these instructors how much they mean to you, work with them, realize that we are your allies. Yes, we're writing exams, we're grading exams, but we are not against you. We've devoted our lives in our careers, to helping students reach success. And so if students can realize that and get on the same page with us, that would be wonderful. But these people all deserve your respect. Don't come to my review session and say, oh, this, and then go back to class and get mad at that person about how they teach it. They're probably teaching it better than me. Listen to them. Learn from what they have to say. Okay. So thank you for listening. And we have many other wonderful instructors that are in the tenure track. I just never get the time to talk about how outstanding these people are. And thank you for anyone that has listened. All right.